What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. I managed to lose a lot of footage from last week's training, so I've not really got very much to show you, but I will show you what I have got. So what we want to speak about in today's video was about warming up with a purpose. So warming up with a purpose and all mobility drills and warm-up protocols and all that stuff should be done by a purpose. Now, I was watching a video of a powerlifter the other day, and he was doing his warm-up, and it took about 45 minutes to warm up before he even touched a barbell, and was doing all of this pretty non-specific stuff. He might have thought it was specific, but it definitely was non-specific. And you know, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, and if anything, it's also going to be hurting you as well. It's going to be you're going to be using energy, you're going to be using valuable energy, and you're losing valuable time restraints and everything in between. Now, for example, it's for some reason became very popular for a lot of powerlifters and a lot of strength athletes. More so powerlifters is what I'm going to focus on. Doing a lot of rotational mobility, you know, so doing lots of rotational work and lots of rotational mobility, and I don't understand why. It is not going to benefit a powerlifter really much at all. One of the reasons why powerlifters shouldn't do yoga, because in yoga they do a huge amount of rotational mobility and flexibility work. Now, obviously, understand mobility and flexibility are two separate things. But you know, a powerlifter, for example, in his spine, he needs to be able to lock his spine down and lock your spine, his or her spine, down into position, and have that spine locked in and rigid, and you do not want that to move. You want, once that's locked in, you want that to stay locked and rigid, and you don't want it to move through the entire range of motion. So spending a lot of time doing rotational mobility isn't a good thing, because the more rotational mobility you have, the less stability through your spine that you have. Now, if you are, you know, a ballet dancer, or, you know, a football player or something like that, you're going to have more rotational mobility requirements due to your sport, but that is when mobility becomes sport specific. As a powerlifter, you do not want that. If you're giving up stability within your spine and your upper body, then you are going to be leaking power. You're going to be working through ranges of motion that you do not need to work through, and you're also going to be putting yourself at a high risk of injury. So first of all, if you are doing a lot of rotational mobility as a powerlifter, I'd recommend to stop that. It is not something you need to do. Stuart McGill, who is one of the leading back specialists in the world, works with a lot of powerlifters. He actually worked with a guy called JP Carroll, who couldn't really move or function, and a couple of years later ended up squatting over 1,200 pounds equipped. He has a lot of stuff on the mobility requirements and the spine stabilization requirements of a powerlifter, and he is an advocate of, you know, rotational mobility is not one. So, you know, if you're doing it, I would probably recommend to stop doing all this rotational mobility, as it's not something that you want to do. And furthermore, stop wasting 45 minutes jumping around on a foam roller pre-workout. There's nothing wrong with having, you know, 3 to 5 minutes of very specific work on a foam roller before your workout. If you and your physical therapist have came to a conclusion that that can be beneficial, but spending 45 minutes just doing foam rolling before you start doing all these other non-specific drills, and spending an hour and a half in the gym before you even touch a barbell, you're probably going to be doing something wrong. So that's just my opinion. You know, I'm welcome to hear yours. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.